Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Geovanny Quiros. I am a backend developer at Wipro. Today, I'm gonna be talking about doing cross-browser testing with a specific tool, which is BrowserStack. So to keep it simple, I will be using basic agenda, which has 8 specific items, use case, why this came out, from which point we decided to use it, and then we will cover some basic concepts, challenges, and importance of doing browser testing of our website or application, some features that this tool offer us, and do a quick dashboard review. And I have a really short but understandable demo just to demonstrate the previous steps, and then some important facts that we might need to consider in order to using or not using BrowserStack as a solution for doing cross-browser testing. And finally, we will have a Q&A section, and maybe you guys have some questions and I will try to answer them if it's possible. And if not, I will do a research about it. So let's start with our use case and why BrowserStack is now considered a tool inside our use dailies. So basically, we just launched a product, meaning that it is on a production phase, and we started getting some feedback from users. And the interesting thing is that those users were from really different locations in geolocalization, meaning, and they were experiencing some issues in our recent launch project. For example, some images were not loading at all in our landing page, or the video player was not working, or in general, we had UI and UX issues reported. So then we as a team, we had a discussion about this, and we tried to look for a strategy how to approach this kind of problem. Because we recently added Google Analytics, we were able to see, for example, user devices, browser version, for example, and operative system version as well. So it gives us an input of data to start. And then based on that, we made a research about what can we use to approach this, in a meaning that we can simulate multiple browsers or OS versions, and we are confident about fixing our current issues and make sure that they disappear. So then we made a research, and we came with BrowserStack, which is a top user tool for this. And that's pretty much. I don't want to get deep right now into BrowserStack, but this was the specific use case and why this tag is in the progress about BrowserStack. Let's see some basic concepts that we might need to cover before getting into BrowserStack itself. So we will explain two things, which is what is cross-browser testing, and itself BrowserStack, what is and what offers. So let's see some basic concepts then. Cross-browser testing is the process of testing website or application across various web browsers to ensure consistent functionality and appearance. And this is actually what we are doing, and we add this value proposition to our customer, which is, let's do this cross-browser testing. And then the tool, which is BrowserStack, which is a cloud-based platform specifically designed for cross-browser testing. So it is a perfect match for a solution for our current problem that we have. So those simple things give us a clear path on how to fix things. Let's see our current challenges and the importance of cross-browser testing, what actually means, the current ones that we have, and how we actually can approach them to improve in our dailies. I will stop here. I don't know if at this point we have some questions, you guys. I will assume it's enough. Then let's see some challenges about core browser testing. First, and foremost, we have inconsistent rendering across different browsers. So let's say we create Angular or Vue application, and then we using our latest Safari version, for example, or Brave version. We see everything okay in our devices as developers. Say we do some mobile and desktop rendering, but then we maybe don't consider previous versions of these browsers, and then some issues will appear, which is the case. So in some specific cases for Safari, we will not have an image to be displayed as we thought that it should be, but some example like that. Then we have the challenge of we have a variation of browser features and functionalities, meaning that each browser, for example, will have its own engine, features, capabilities. So it will enable and disable some features in our developments. So this is really difficult to test, and again, it's a key point. And then the compatibility issues, which is the fact that in between different browser versions or engines, our application will render in a way or different, so making our support code hard to maintain or hard to test. So now let's see the importance. The first, ensures a constant user experience across all browsers, which is exactly what we needed. Make sure we fixed the issues across the browsers that users were having, the errors or issues. Then this will allow us to increase the reach and accessibility of our website application because of the well cross-browser testing. So application will have the same render no matter if your device is an iOS phone or a Mac computer. Then it helps identify, this is a really one that is really important, which is helps identify and fix browser specific issues early in development cycle, which is great because we will have resources, we will save time and resources in the long run. And more than that, we will have a really smoother deployment experience at the end for the user, meaning the less bugs we create, the better the user experience is at the beginning or through the process of development. Okay, let's see some key features from BrowserStack. On the left side, we will have some general features about the product. On the right side, we will have the specific modules that they offer as a solution. Each one of them is a different module or solution that they offer. We will be focusing on the live module, which is the manual cross-browser testing, and then some of the features. As you see on the modules, test management or automated app testing and more complex results can be completed using this BrowserStack, but we are just now focusing on live. So it gives us a comprehensive browser and device coverage. So we will have a range of more than 2,000 devices to test our applications or websites, and it will give you real devices for accurate testing, meaning that they actually on their private data centers have their own devices, in which is something that you are going to be testing your application inside that real device. Then automated testing capabilities, and the one that we are doing now, or I am trying to explain, which is real-time testing and debugging. And then some more complex features, which is screenshots and video recordings about our current test. So it's a custom feature as well. So let's see the dashboard. And then after that, I will show you guys a really minimal demo that I prepared. I will cover the pricing and the models that are using in order to test the product. So as you guys see in the top menu, we will have different modules: live, automate, apply, and then a lot of options. We're going to be focusing on this interface. And on the left side, we will have all the different OS available: iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac, for example. And then on the right side, we will have the different browsers that we are going to be able to test our application. And if you see it disabled, it's because my device or my account is limited by 1 minute by a browser version. I will explain this on the limitations section. And as you can see, we can also pick a specific OS version for example, Mac, which is great. One specific use case is, for example, Safari, because Safari is based on or is attached to the OS. We cannot downgrade, for example, our Safari locally version, or maybe we can use simulators, but it is not accurate information or displaying or stuff like that. So we can downgrade the OS version, and as you can see, the browser version changes because it's based on the OS. So we will cover a lot of options, and as you can see, we have inside iOS, iPhone, and iPad, which is great. So we can show more devices to see the cover. So covers iPhone 6s, which is good, for example. Then iPad, for example, or then we go into Android. Then we have different real devices on Android. So let's say, for example, so this is an overview and how it works. It works that, for example, let's say that we want to go to Catalina version OS, then we pick latest version of this 13 version. Okay, and then let's see. Let's do, I will explain it in this dashboard overview. I will switch to the demo that I have prepared for you guys. Let's see, one of the great tools is to be able to force a local connection. And as you can see at the top, we have this CLI, which is our client to get this connection in between our BrowserStack live instance and our local machine. Let me see, because it's gonna sign me out. It's kind of tedious to test this free version, to be honest, because it's just 1 minute. So if you really need to debug something in deep, 1 minute is not enough. Let's see. As you can see, the CLI gives me the launch option for menu items. Live is the one that we are interested in. And now, I don't know if I didn't explain it, but before doing this, there are some permissions that BrowserStack asks to create a tunnel in between our local and this remote access. So we need to check it or make sure that you understand that to use it. So let's see. Let me see. Let me sign out. Things like this are expected, I hope. Let's see. Finally, my apologies. And then we will have a short and simple demo to see some advantages of using BrowserStack. So let's see, we have a simple image and a text. We will add a specific property to this image, which is the radio. Let's see, our image. App logo is the class name. So is this reference image ratio, I think it is, or let me see, aspect ratio. Let's see that we are given a specific height to the image. So we will try to have an aspect ratio of 1:1, which is on a square. And let's see how the renders behaves. Okay, the session expired. And then let's see one specific case. For example, I will really move back to an old version, let's say 82. And as you guys can see, we can see that the property is not being applied. So let's reload our current local app in React. This is isolated from BrowserStack even. So, and as you can see, the consistency is not correlated, meaning that they have a wrong display for each one. It means there is something about this property and there is something about the browsers. And let's see, if we go to the official documentation or a documentation from Mozilla, let's inspect this property. So we have a demo image here on the right side. So we can play around with this and give different aspect ratios. So let's see, this is where our example, we can change it, as you guys can see. And this should work, I think, in most of the browser. It is, but it is in a specific browser compatibility, which is the version, for example, in this case, Firefox that we're using. If you guys noticed, I downgraded till 85, I think. And that's why it is not working on this specific version. So let's see if we move a little bit up on the version, and let's see if this actually, let's see, 90, 91, for example. As you can see, guys, it's being applied. And for us as developers, it's hard to test stuff like this. Well, this case is it's just for demonstrative purposes, but it gives us an idea that just something small can change the app, and that's it. And in this scenario with the demo that I have prepared. And that's it. As you see, after the minutes will remove your session, you will need to pick a different version because the current one that you use is spent. So we need to pick a different version. Let's continue. Well, we saw the dashboard review. We talked about the general dashboard, how the data is presented to us, and the show demo. Then let's see some important facts. Okay, some limitations that we have. So as you guys saw, we have 1 minute session by device. For real purposes, you will actually need more than that. And you actually saw that this minute by device is actually disabled, no matter if you log out or sign in again. It's actually disabled because you spend it. And you have a total of 30 minutes session, which is as well a pain. But these are the limitations, basically. Let's see some pricing. If actually people are interested or considering, this is the only pricing, and we have a free tier as we saw, but custom versions, which is, for example, the best value, $49 per month, and you see all the different features that are enabled for each category. And if you go annually, you will save up to 25%, which is good for long-term view. And interesting, if you see that the left side, it says desktop, and the right side will give you actual mobile. because it will actually connect it to a real device for testing mobile applications, for example. So this is why it's split it, teen and enterprise. So limitations. Let's see the single user tier plan. As you guys might notice, we for desktop and mobile, just one user, and this might not be good scenario, just having one, maybe at the beginning, or maybe we will need to add more than one user. So we'll force you to buy the team, pretty much. As I can say this as a small downside, and that's pretty much. So in BrowserStack is a really monster tool. We are just inspecting the live version. So this monthly and annually pricing are related to the live module. If you pick a different module, prices are gonna change. And that's it. I don't know if you guys have questions or wanna share something.
It's sincere. Thank you very much, sir.
I didn't hear the first part, but it was just the thanks.
I have one question. The minute is per month or per what? The minute if the minute that you can run the browser is every month is going to be reset, or every week, or
you have a total of 30 minutes to spend. So pick well your browser version and spend well that point or minute.
Yeah, and the other question is with the minimum plan of $30, is going to be enough to do the same that you did on the demo, but without the time restriction, right?
Correct. Fully.
Okay.
And it will give you support and extra, really huge access to support.
Thanks.
No problem. Really, thanks for joining me today.